The first preseason game for the Toronto Maple Leafs have come and gone now. And before we even start talking about it, the Leafs lost 3-1 to the Ottawa Senators. And if anybody's starting to freak out, relax, because it's a preseason game. No need to worry. Preseason games are not about wins and losses. It's about seeing guys that you're not used to seeing kind of maybe open up your eyes a little bit. And there were quite a few guys, at least in my eyes, that impressed me quite a bit in this game today. Like I said, the Leafs did lose 3-1 to the Ottawa Senators. The first goal of the game was by Lajoie in the first period. I was going to say first inning. It's been a long baseball year, people. But I didn't like this goal on Frederik Andersen's part. Again, he was probably screened a little bit by Jason Spezza, but it's 5-hole along the ice. You got to have that. Now, ideally, it's like I said before, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. So that's what happened to make it a 1-0 lead for the Sens. And it was, it was a tight game the rest of the way. Anders Nielsen did an incredible job for the Senators, making big save after big save. Ends up playing the first two periods and makes all 13 saves that he, gets all 13 saves on all 13 shots that he had. Good job by him. Now, in the third period, Mitchell Marner does a great job getting the puck to Kasperi Kapanen, who finds the back of the net and tying the hockey game at 1. All right, good stuff there. We're back in business here. Midway through the third period, Mitchell Marner behind his own net stick handles and somehow just kind of pushes it towards the center of the ice. He didn't try to. There was no pass intended there. It goes past Jason Spezza onto the tape of young Tristan Sherway, and he buries it past Kazimir Kaskasuo, making it a 2-1 Sens lead, and then Anthony Duclair with the empty netter to seal the deal as the Sens win 3-1. So, what do you take from a game like this? Well, you had the Marner turnover. You're not going to see that very often in the regular season. Freddie Andersen, greasy one in the first goal. You're not going to see that very often in the regular season. So don't get used to it. And also, the Leafs only scored 1 goal. Don't get used to that. I mean, really. For the Leafs, what you saw today is you saw some very positive things from more or less the depth guys, the guys who were trying to impress. Those are the guys, in my eyes, that had really good games. A guy like Frederik Gauthier started out the game less than 5 minutes in, gets a breakaway. And throughout the entirety of this hockey game, he was all over the place, being a pain, taking shots. And I gotta say, back when Frederik Gauthier was drafted and throughout the first year or two of his minor career in the in the QMJHL and in the AHL, the knock on him was his speed. He was not a very fast guy. He's a big guy, but he can't skate very well. And I gotta say, he was flying out there, was Freddie Goat. I thought he looked fantastic out there. Now, it's for the first preseason game of the year. Everyone's jacked up to go. But he opened my eyes right out of the gate with the breakaway, and he was consistently all over the place and did an amazing job. I was really impressed with Frederik Gauthier in this game from him. I thought Tyson Barrie, you didn't see a whole lot of him out there. That's also a good thing, kind of, at some points. But on the power plays, when you really saw Tyson Barrie come into his zone, he looks like a catalyst of the power play. And having a guy like him and a guy like Riley, I think you split those two guys up on power plays because both guys like to be catalysts on the power play at the point. So it'd be a really interesting way of doing that. But I thought he looked great. There was a couple opportunities offensively, like I said, on the power play, at least in the first period, I think it was. He had great opportunities. He's great with the puck. He's an amazing passer, it looks like, from Tyson Barrie, and he's a right shot. And Leaf fans, we don't realize quite yet how good Tyson Barrie actually is. You haven't really seen a lot of him. Now, what we saw today was a very small sample size, but I like what I see. And with the Leafs, you saw last year with their power play, right? You saw that whole problem with the Leafs power play last year was that they front-loaded the entire court. The first power play unit was insane. The second power play unit was all right, but it wasn't the greatest. And the first power play was just so predictable. And at some point, the Leafs just got shut down. They could not score a power play goal for their life, and it was awful. You bring in another guy who's going to quarterback a power play like Tyson Barrie, and I don't know if they're going to put him with Morgan Riley. I assume they're not going to have him and Riley together on the power play. I'm assuming they're going to split them up. But if they do split them up, that second power play unit is going to look real nice. And I like what I saw from Tyson Barrie in the game today. There's a couple other guys that I was really impressed with. A guy like Jeremy Bracco. You know, a guy that coming into this year is my dark horse. That's my guy to make the team out of camp. The reason being, you guys all know, if you guys are hardcore Leaf fans, you know the season Jeremy Bracco had with the Marlies last year. Incredible. He was second in the league in points. The kid deserves a chance. He looked great out there. His speed was playing. He made some amazing passes. Look, he wasn't very flashy. All he had in the game was one shot on net. But for Jeremy Bracco, he's an amazing passer, and you put him with guys who can finish, and, I mean, he will do wonders. He's a guy like Mitch Marner. And Marner's not going to be guys who are going to score 40, 50 goals, but he's going to score 25, maybe 30, and he's going to get like 60 to 70 assists, depending on the year he's having. Jeremy Bracco, maybe not to that extent, but the same type of player. And I really like what I saw from Bracco today. He was skating really, really well. He looked fantastic. Dmitry Timashov, another guy that I really like today. I don't see him on the roster to start the season. I think he's an early call-up if there's an injury or something. But Dmitry Timashov is a guy, I think he's a former like 5th-round pick of the Leafs. Put up great numbers in junior. Come over to the AHL. And it's been a pretty good season. He's done okay in the AHL. But his speed plays again, and he's a very small guy, and I think that's an issue for him. But I mean, we've seen in the past, size really doesn't matter at this point in the NHL. And for Dmitry Timashov, he's a damn good player, and if he's not going to play here, he's going to be able to play somewhere else. You know, that's just the way it's going to be for him. And I like the looks of him. I really, really liked him out there. And again, there's still lots of preseason hockey to play. We're going to see all kinds of different players, all kinds of different matchups, all different kinds of lines. That's what the preseason is all about, mashing things all together, seeing what works, and going from there. And you got to remember, the Leafs do not have Zach Hyman or Travis Dermott for the first 12 to 15 games of the year, so you got to fill some holes. You know Hyman, when he comes back, is probably going to be alongside of Marner and John Tavares, as he was last year, and that line worked out so damn well. So that's going to be that, and Travis Dermott's going to slide in somewhere, maybe even beside Tyson Barrie, I don't know. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the way this Leaf team looks coming out of camp, especially with those two injuries. You got to fill those holes. And, you know, nobody else really, stood out to me. You could say Marner. I mean, he always does. He made that blunder, but like I said, you're not going to see that very often. Tavares, he was out there. Nothing too flashy, nothing too special. And Kapanen, other than the goal he had, I mean, I thought he was okay. But again, it's not really about those guys, because you know what those guys can do. It's about the other ones. It's like the newest addition, Jason Spezza. How did he look? I thought he looked pretty good in the face-off dot. And one thing I want to mention, it was a very small thing that I witnessed. It was quite interesting to see. Mason Marsh, so I think it was Jason Spezza on the face-off dot. He got thrown out of the draw. In comes Mason Marchment. He's a left shot, okay? And I don't know who was taking the face-off against him, but he might have been on his forehand. So what does Mason Marchment decide to do? He flips his stick over so that when he's like this and he's trying to go back this way, that's basically on his forehand. The curve of the blade's going back. And I thought that was a really interesting thing. I'd have never seen that before. He won the face-off with that play. But, again, Mason Marchment, a guy undrafted. He's son of, I want to say Brad Marchment. I could be wrong with his first name. I remember him in the NHL. I forgot his first name. If it's Brad, I'm right, and then I feel great. But his son, Mason Marchment, undrafted. He's gone through the rankings. He was in the ECHL. He's had a couple of years now with the Marlies. I really like him as a player. He's a hard guy to play against, physical, and he's hard around the front of the net. And I like the way he plays. Now, is he going to make the team? No. But, again, a guy that's continuing to develop down there in the AHL, and I like what I'm seeing from Mason Marchment. Now, anybody freaking out about that goal from Ed Frederick Anderson, stop it. Because it's the first game of the season. Sorry. Preseason. That's all that matters. You're looking at all these younger players. How did Adam Brooks look? Trevor Moore. They looked okay. Jordan Schmaltz. They looked all right. I actually kind of like the looks of Jordan Schmaltz. With the right shot, moved the puck really well, at least from what I saw there today. Jake Muzzin was okay. Justin Hall was all right. They were all okay. You know, I didn't see anybody that stood out to me as really bad. There was a couple blunders. Obviously, the goal, the first goal of the game, and then the turnover from Marner. But other than those two plays, the Leafs didn't have too many brain farts, and I liked what I saw from the Leafs today. I really enjoyed what I saw from our buds there this afternoon. I mean, I thought they were pretty good, And yeah, there's a little pimple going there. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. Okay, damn it, gotta get to that. But you know what, guys? You take from this game positives. Okay, so the positives that I take from a game like this is that Frederick Gauthier's skating, at least from game 1, has improved a ton. Jeremy Bracco is continuing, to impress me and is leaning me towards him being on this team to start the year. I love the looks of Dmitry Timashov. Again, I think it was that line of Gauthier, Bracco, and Timashov. Yeah, I could have been wrong. They might not have all been together, but they all looked very good. Now, again, there were some other guys who you didn't really notice, and that's not a bad thing. There's going to be other games that you're going to notice these players. But for this one, those are the 3 names that I look at, and I'm like, those guys I liked. Now, that's going to change on a game-to-game basis, but for this one, that's my guys. All right, so game 2 of the preseason, guys, goes tomorrow. Right back at it. But the problem is, it's not Newfoundland anymore. It is, St. John's, Newfoundland, and it is in Ottawa. I think it's at the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa. It's a 7:30 puck drop there tomorrow night as Game 2 of the preseason gets going. Assuming that we've seen John Tavares, Mitch Marner, Kasperi Kapanen today, I'm assuming Austin Matthews, William Nylander, guys like that, we are going to be seeing tomorrow. And I think we're going to see Alex Kerfoot tomorrow, Andreas Johnsson, guys like that. Everybody you probably didn't see today are playing tomorrow. So it's going to be exciting to see how these guys look in the game. And the guy that I'm going to be watching tomorrow, William Nylander. That's the guy I'm going to be really zoning in on and seeing how he looks out there. I know it's preseason, but that's a guy. That is a guy that this team needs to be good. I haven't changed his number yet. I haven't gotten my free number change, but I got your jersey. He's a damn good player, and if you look at all the contracts the Leafs are signing right now, his looks pretty beautiful. Excuse me. And I feel like he's going to have a breakout season. I think William Nylander having a full year in training camp, a full preseason, and not having to worry about contracts or anything, I think he's going to go out this year and fly and do an amazing job with Matthews at the top on the top line. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens there this year. And it all starts tomorrow night in Game 2 of the preseason. We're going to be seeing those 2 guys in action tomorrow. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys, I'm not going to say enjoy the game, but I'll say enjoy that hockey is back. Smack that like button to appreciate that, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the Leafs play, who'd you like, who'd you not like, and what are your expectations for tomorrow, and who are you looking forward to seeing in tomorrow night's game against the Sens in Ottawa? All right, so guys, check out my Twitter is down below, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Blue Jays edition in Game 1 of the 3-game set against the Baltimore Orioles. They're actually playing right now, and the Jays have a 3-2 lead against the Orioles in Game 1 of the 3-game set. I'll talk to you guys later on tonight about that. And as for the Leafs, as we've talked about, we'll be talking to you guys in Game 2 of the preseason there tomorrow night, 7:30 puck drop at the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa. All right, so guys, like I said, 7:30 puck drop. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys then.